As most of you know, I'm currently staying in Denver, at least at the exact time of this video. I went to order a Lyft and this popped up. Yes, Lyft Shared is back. So as you can see right here, I'm on Lyft's site right now. Share the ride, share the cash. Shared rides are back and they're better than ever. With Shared, you'll always pay less than you would for a standard Lyft ride. And now you can book rides in advance, get more elbow room, and see fewer route changes. Just check your app for availability. So going down here just to show you, these are the current areas that it's available in right now, as they typically do. They hit like the big cities like Miami, Denver, where I am right now, Vegas, San Francisco, and then they start spreading to everywhere. So it's slowly going all over the place. If it's not in your current area, it definitely will be soon, so keep that in mind. But as you can see, what is interesting about this, which I didn't even know until I read this article, is you can now book ahead. Lock in the lowest price by booking further out. Typically when it comes to a lot of like Uber pools, or Uber X shares, or a lot of these shared rides, you before could not book it in advance, especially pre-pandemic, but now you can, which does save you more money. Going down here, just you at your pickup. For now, we're limiting shared rides to 2 passengers per ride at any given time, and 1 per pickup. I think that's huge. That means there's going to be maximum 3 people in the car at any given time. That's super important because I remember taking an Uber pool pre-pandemic. There could be 3 different people in the car, or 4 counting the driver, and there was 3 different Uber pools going on, intersecting simultaneously. It was just a huge hassle, not only for the passengers, but for the drivers as well. So I do like both Uber X Share and Lyft Share are doing this. And then in addition, say no to the scenic route. I feel like they're just saying this, gotta be honest, but with their latest upgrades, you'll see fewer changes to your route and your ETA will be more reliable. And that could be true, but they also say your fellow rider may be dropped off first if their destination is on the way to yours. That was the same situation as it was before. You'd get an Uber pool, or a Lyft Line as it was previously called, and you'd be in that ride and someone would get dropped off in front of you and you're like, all right, whatever, maybe they were on their way. You pick somebody else up, you then drop them off and you're like, wait, 2 people have already been dropped off and I'm just sitting here waiting. We'll see how this plays out. And then going down here, they added these unique rules. I've never seen these before, but library rules are in effect. So if you need to speak on the phone, please use your indoor voice. That's actually, I'm glad they said that because I hate when people are in an Uber or Lyft, especially a shared one, and they're like on their phone with the person on speaker and you're like, come on. Going down here though, make space for your new BFF. So of course, make space, keep snacks packed up, and then check the local health guidelines. So it's back. Lyft Shared is officially back. I am very interested in the fact that both Uber and Lyft changed or rebranded their shared program. Uber changed Uber Pool to Uber X Share, and Lyft changed Lyft Line to Lyft Shared. I feel like they did this for 2 different reasons. One is Uber Pool and Lyft Line got a lot of hate. Kind of reminds me a bit of when Microsoft changed the name of Internet Explorer to Microsoft Edge. We're like, look, let's be honest, it's the same thing. It's just that Internet Explorer had that infamous history when it comes to internet browsers, and you're like, you know what, let's just call it something different. It might be a little bit better. So that's my first theory. The second one is I feel like it does make a lot more sense, especially for new users. Before, when you first saw Uber Pool or Lyft Line, you're like, okay, what is the point? Like, what do they mean by Uber Pool or Lyft Line? Uber X Share and Lyft Share definitely makes way more logical sense that if you don't know what it is, you could probably see on the app like, okay, I kind of get the idea that it's maybe a shared ride, as in there's going to be other people in the car with me. And I think that makes it a lot better because I personally remember before the pandemic took some Uber pools or Lyft lines where people got in the car and they're like, why is there people in here? Like, why? What is this? And then the driver had to explain like, oh, you ordered an Uber pool, this is what it is. And the people didn't know and they got mad at the driver. Of course, the driver did nothing wrong, but remember, it's always the driver's fault. And so that caused a lot of tension. So I feel like that the rebranding, I think, actually is a good thing. I'm just curious to see how this is going to play out. I do really like the idea of there only being 2 people in the car. Whether it is a Lyft Share or an Uber X Share, they're both following that same policy. I think that's going to be huge, to make it a lot easier on both the passengers and the drivers. But let me know what you think in the comments. Have you had a Lyft Share ride yet? How did it go? How do you think this is going to be different? Or do you think it's going to be exactly the same? Let me know what you think.